there is a chance to use everything that comes up to contribute to you being you. In other words, the space for you being you is available more now than it ever has been before. Okay. And there may be certain things that show up. Like one of the things I want to point your attention to that you may not yet have recognized is that consciousness has a way of showing you everything you require. And if you'll allow yourself to relax and let consciousness contribute and allow yourself to recognize you have a different possibility available. And so there will be some things that come up like with family or whatever, where you feel like lower than you ever have before. But you want to ask, like, look at, let's just take that for just a moment. Okay. There was one time I was traveling during the holiday to see family after Access, and I had it was a point in my life where I had so much lightness in so many ways. And after a day, oh my God, I was so sad. I didn't want to wake up. I had no energy, etc. And thank God I had Access friends. And I called Gary and I'm like, please help me. I just want to die. He's like, is that yours? I'm like, yeah, no, no, yes, no. And I was like, holy shit, what happened was all the stuff that I had not yet gotten into allowance of, that my family has as their, it's like what people do is they take their most fixed points of view, their biggest, their judgments, and they offer them to you as though that's the gift of their being. Okay. So how many people's judgments are you already aware of, and how many projections of future that you're going to have to deal with during the holiday are you aware of that you are already trying to avoid? Everything that is times a godzillion. Will you rescind, revoke, recant, reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy, and uncreate it? Times a godzillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, all nine, pod, poc, shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. Oh my goodness. Okay, so let's look at this for a moment. When you are around, after you've changed a lot. Now, okay, so sorry, so many pieces of this. So let's look at you before Access and before transforming. Okay. Hello. Nice to see you, you unhappy slob of a son of a bitch. You're beautiful. I love you, but you don't, and nobody else does either. It's okay. It's called being humanoid on planet Earth. Nice to meet you. My name is Dane. Okay. So there was you. Now that you started doing Access Consciousness, even if it's just the 15 billion program, and you start getting tools, you start getting an experience of spaces being like space rather than just this mental, like making everything happen, and all the energies that are so solid determining everything, and you start breaking off pieces of that structure that you learn to create just like your family did. Okay. Yeah, truly. What kills me is they give it to you because they love you and they truly believe it will help. Oh my goodness, isn't that awesome? Oh, and what would it be like if you could receive it in that, with that sense of, okay, they're doing their best to love me. Now, some of you just have mean, abusive parents. We need to acknowledge that, or family or whatever, or one of them is like that. You need to acknowledge that too. But acknowledge that for the most part, these people do this because they love you, which is really weird, but okay. So they think they're giving you a gift, literally, which is weird, but okay. But so you expand out, you have so much more of you, and yet there's certain aspects of what you grew up with that you haven't gotten into allowance of yet. So you are now put in the situation that pushes thousands of buttons you didn't know you had. But if your target is consciousness, this is glorious, because it's like your whole life you've been walking into this room and it smells like shit, but there are no lights in the room, so you're not quite sure what's in there, and you're like, God, it stinks. Goodness, stinks. And then now you go in and you turn the light on, and now you can see where the piles of poo are located. So everything that doesn't allow you to be in allowance as you, now this is funny, we're talking about the holidays, but this applies to anything. But anything that everything that doesn't allow you to be an allowance of the weird shit that comes up, and everything that makes you try to avoid it or defend against it, will you destroy and uncreate all that, please? Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine, shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. Yep, and you don't need to embody it. Just thank you and then do you. Okay, so so I'm gonna walk you through a little something. This will be fun. Let's see what form this takes. Okay, so here's what I'd like you to do. Look at a couple people on the Zoom, or think of a couple people you know that do access that have your back. Okay. Okay, cool. You could add me. I'll go with you. You pick a couple people and I'll be with you too. Okay. Now, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go to your family's house. Oh, sorry. Everything that brings up. Well, your sender broker can't reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy, and uncreate it, please. Times a gazillion, right? I'll go bad all nine, pod, pock, shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. Oh, I love you guys. You are so funny. Conscious Febreze. Let there be light. Oh, fuck, I'm covered in poop. Where's the dimmer switch? I literally try to run away from the poop. Oh, I try to lower my walls and barriers every time I see my mother, but I just get so angry when I'm with her. Yeah, here's my question. Is that your anger or hers? Okay. Your anger or hers? And how much have you bought that as yours your entire life? How much does she suppress it and try to be nice? And you might ask, what is she so angry at that she could kill? Pock and pot it. Then again, what is she so angry at that she could kill? Pock and pot it. Do that about 10 or 12 times and then ask yourself, who or what am I so angry at that I could kill? And do that another 10 or 20 times and see if that doesn't help. Okay, so here we are. There's at least 3, maybe 4, maybe 12 of them. I don't know, man. Let's all go. Let's all go to each person's family this holiday season. That sounds fun. Cool. I mean, shit, we're making it up anyway. We can take as many as we want. Okay, so now notice, yeah, it's so heavy when I go to family's house. Yep, I know the thing. And so yes, we do want you to do this. So we all show up, including me, at your family's house. Now notice what happens is you have us there and every single one of us has your back. Okay, so for each person's house that we go to, the target for everybody except the person whose family it is to just contribute energy to them and have their back. Okay, so that means when we go to your house, everybody is there having your back. Okay, including me. And I'm walking right beside you. I have my hand on your butt cheek because why would I not? And or on your shoulder. But I think, especially if you have a really judgmental family, I think having my hand on your butt cheek and then a female friend on the other side with their hand on your butt cheek, no matter what sex you are, is a great way to start this whole situation off. But you do you. So, we could have our hand just on your shoulder, holding hands, whatever you want. Okay. Now for some of you that has a different meaning, but that's a story for another time. Anyway, so here we are. We walk up to the door. Now notice there's 2 things that will go on. The first is all the stuff you're supposed to have and used to have, which is all the shit, all the yuck, stuck, and what the fuck you're going to deal with, you're going to get hammered on, or like in the case of some families, you're going to be there and you're just going to feel your soul melt out of your body into a deep, dark abyss that you don't know where it went to after a few hours and you don't even know how it happened. Okay. So there's that, which is sort of there, but notice as we all have your back, it's like, okay, I got this. Now, here's the deal. Whatever, and granted, there's hundreds of us, so, you know, each of us has something different that goes on with our families. So I'm making it as general as possible in the hopes that everybody can get something out of this, okay? So you have that sense come up, and as soon as one of us notices it, because we're very present with you, and we know when you're happy in you, and we know when you're not, and we can feel just the first grain of sand of you trying to be what you're supposed to be for family, and we all put our hands on you, and we're like, you don't have to do that. We got you. It's okay. Okay. And then really quickly we do, what are you avoiding who, and what are you defending for and against? What are you proving? What are you gaining? What are you losing? Blah, 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 blah. All the implants, explants, like all the stuff, right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all 9 shorts, boys, poveds, and beyonds. And you notice it just fucking disappears. You open, you know, you ring the doorbell because, well, you got a group of people, so you don't want to really surprise everybody too much. And so you ring the doorbell and your mom answers or your dad answers, whichever one you hate the most or hates you the most. That person answers and they see you and they see this group of friends, this group of people that has your back, and they try to go into their usual energy, but they can't. Okay. Number one, they know they're going to be seen by people who are willing to see. And they always have to keep that shit hidden because they have to try to prove they're not the asshole that they actually are. So, but they can't go into it. And what they do is they swallow it. And as they swallow it, what happens is something else goes in that's called consciousness and awareness. And in that moment, they get the total awareness of everything they've done to you, as though it was an appropriateness or as though it was to let go of something out of their world. And they see the entire history of every choice they've made with regard to you. And simultaneously, they look back at their own history and see where it got created by how their parents treated them. Simultaneously, they see all the lifetimes, and you see all the lifetimes in which you killed them, in which they killed you, and what it was that set up this insanity in this lifetime that you've both been playing your part in. And you both look at each other and have this moment of acknowledgement and awareness because you both got it. And you just go, no more. I see you as a being. I allow you to see me as a being. And I am never again going to put up with being tortured by you or harmed by you. And I will also, if you will agree to that, I will never torture or harm you. If you don't agree to that, you will never, ever, ever have control over me again anyway. And my friends and I are now going to come in and have a drink. Okay, this only applies if you're not an alcoholic, by the way. Okay, if you are an alcoholic, the rest of us are going to drink in your honor and for your benefit. Okay, you're welcome. You can get a contact high. Okay, so we all walk in and your entire family at once gets totally silent and turns around and stares at you. Okay. But what happens? You notice how with all of us there, they look at you and they give you their looks, whatever they are. Some of them adore you and admire you. Some of them fucking hate you and you're the worst person in the world. Yes, you are. Yay. And you feel that. You feel that energy and you're like, yes, I am. I am evil, bitches. Ha ha, motherfuckers. I'm not only evil, but I got my brothers and sisters with me. I got my friends. And guess what? These fuckers stay with me always. So do your best, asshole. By the way, a couple in the back have guns. And Dane is also packing just in case. Anyway, just thought I'd mention that as a side note. Okay. And so you're there and you receive all at once. Okay. The room gets totally silent. All of them look at you. All of them deliver that at you. And you lower your walls and barriers. And we all lower our walls and barriers and let it through. And they stand there and they don't know what to do because the energy they're directing at you no longer has an effect. And they literally cannot talk because they don't know how to be around you. They don't know how to be around you except in this box of programs that they spit out tape after tape after tape. The audio, press this audio, press this audio, press this audio. They don't fucking know what to do, and they just stand there looking at you. And you look at the one that you can tell is somehow so stunned that they can no longer diminish you. So stunned that something is going on in their world that they don't even understand, but their entire world is transforming in some way. And you look and you smile and you say, hi. And that one looks at you and goes, hi. And they get a little closer to you and you walk over to them and you give them a hug and you feel them actually receive it. And they just start crying, uncontrollable fucking sobbing, because they had been part of maintaining this structure that is so antithetic to being. They've been using you to do it. And to a certain extent, your resistance and reaction, your alignment and agreement, your avoidance, your defense, all these things have allowed it to stay in place as an effect on you. And as they sense you being free, their whole world blows apart, because your sense of freedom from it gives them a different space for the first time in their life to actually choose something different. You being a space beyond the family, especially with all of us there having your back, you being total allowance for that person and total killing energy. It's not just, oh, nicey nice, you can do anything to me. You realize, and they realize, that shit ain't ever happening again. You were never going to be nice. You were going to be kind from now on. Have total killing energy, total presence, and you're going to walk through the fucking world like hundreds of us potent motherfuckers have your back. Yes or no? Thank you. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. So, what you did, what you've done by being this and by being willing to have us all there contributing to you, is you broke, because whether you know it or not, you're a primary element in the structure that your family has. In other words, if you, and this is part of the reason for those of you who have families that are just so unkind to you, when you change the structure, you are like a keystone, okay? A keystone is the one that goes in the arch and actually holds the fucking thing together. If you pull out the keystone, the whole arch falls apart. So what keystone are you that you haven't been acknowledging, that you've been pretending not to be, that if you acknowledged it and acknowledged that your change changes everyone in your fucking family and everyone they've ever been connected to? Everything that is times a godzillion. We rescind, revoke, recant, reclaim, renounce, denounce, destroy, and uncreate it. Right and wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. Boom, shaka motherfucking laka. So here's the other interesting part. So after this interaction, this person breaks down in tears and they're like, oh my God. And you have a few other family members come up to you and it's like they're looking at you through different eyes. They have this admiration for you. They have this admiration for what you're choosing to be that is so different, than anybody else in the family. And rather than you receiving this hatred for it, you actually receive this gratitude. And you can feel their world changing in some way they don't understand, but they know there's something different possible. And they acknowledge that you have some fucking balls of steel. Everything that is times a godzillion way, destroy and create it, please. Right, wrong, good and bad, pot and pock, all nine shorts, boys, povads, and beyonds. And so with all of us there is no need to align and agree or resist and react. And at that point, we pour champagne. We have a big ass fucking toast that's louder than fuck. We cheer to being humanoid, evil, incarnate, walking on the planet and not taking shit from anyone. And we party like it's fucking 1999. And then the more fun we have and the drunker we get, the more we let out our weirdness, the more we let out our difference, the more we play and play and play. And you notice that about 50% of your family starts playing for the first time in their lives that you've ever known them. And another 50% is, or not, another 40% is over here kind of just staring, knowing they don't have any power to control anymore. And they don't know what the fuck to do. So they sit in the corner and shut the fuck up. 10% of them leave because they can't handle the energy. Either way, best Christmas ever so far, or best holiday ever so far.